telling everybody how we're going to get everything situated and stuff like that. And then when I consider that this is not what I want to be doing, I guess there's not enough sun out here. So when we're doing stuff, but it's not that I'm complaining. So when Willy Wonka has come through the light source of what we call the movie, and Willy Wonka's now like the main attraction to what we call, because right now he has the color of If's jersey. And jerseys are trying to run around. He's like, well, my people only do tan and laundry around here. And because we try to make sure that we stay clean and stuff. So I start telling everybody at the movie, I'm like, hey man, did y'all go on to see a Tide Corporation? And they're like, we were going to inform you, sir, that we don't leak stuff. That's the last time they told us something about that was on Snitch.com. And I was like, well, I went there to Snitch.com to see who's doing stuff, to see if there's like John Wick's source of finding people. Do I make money from watching these people? And I was like, let me go and tell what I'm doing to Mr. Wong. And he's like, Pablo, come over here. I think I told you that one of those candies be going out somewhere else. It's like if you're going to pick candy and you're going to go looking for it, you might as well hand them candy a second. It's time of attention and all that. So I may have to fix up something that's going to give you like an attention deficit hyperactive disorder, but you ain't going to notice it. But what does that mean necessarily? That means that you're going to have a lot of energy, but that don't mean that you're going to be my doctor, Mr. Walker, because I'm a dang doctor, bro. And it's like you can call me a doctor that fixes dengue. And dengue is out in Argentina and the Southern American areas. It's like if you get bit by Mr. Dengue and whatnot, you're going to have a sickness. So they're out in Argentina winning World Cups and somebody gets picked off by a dengue bug. And when you continue to question things like that, it's like, hey, what could he have caught? Where's If now? And I'm like, hey, If, which is type of Deadpool 3 and Wolverine. And he's like, hey, where is that movie at? You come on over here and bring it in. So I start like levitating. I'm coming out of here. And I'm like, whoa. He's just trying to act like he ain't got nothing like purple light about me and try to say he ain't got something communicating. So I'm like, If, why did you take it so personally about what we're going to do with the movie? And I was like, how about we grab some of these and take it down to this shop where people were trying to become Santa Claus. Santa Claus is back because he's looking for himself that's being accused of being a leprechaun. So Santa Claus says, this isn't the right way. Have y'all heard about my bad side? And he's like, normally I ain't got it, but somebody talked about my elf saying he's going to be a leprechaun, like in a John Harry Potter when he's scary. And it's like, well, guess what? Give them that one so they can be afraid of him. Because my elf ain't going to be doing that. So Will Ferrell says, I'm not signing to work. It's that one. You're going to have to find a new actor. Because that's not the way I normally work. And he's like, well, guess what? Just name it Elf Stepbrother. So the gentleman from Stepbrother comes back. And he's all like, let's go back to Arkansas where this man has been trained to speak such publicly without falling off the course. And I was like, have you gone down to the Gator golf course? And he's like, get that Gator and we're going to go golf course and see where he's at. People get mistaken that there's alligators walking on a golf course and they're all like, well, you're going to capture her. And I'm like, no, he's out here to watch the dang game. He's out here sitting down here with his cute little eyes looking outside at my game. And people, the ball's coming, he's coming out like it's a San Francisco bum cart or something. There, he runs into the water. But he's out there getting the ball. He's always getting it. He's happy. He's a gator. And people, he comes out to be 15 feet tall and 15 feet long. And people are calling this dude the Zilla. And I'm like, dude, what has to happen to you? They're trying to capture you. They're going to have to run around and see where you've been. And I'm like, dude, you need to hide under the water real quick. He starts to turn around super slow and goes, I don't feel like it. So he's gator around. Like, you need to get back in that water. They're out here to get you. Like, you might as well get those tridents out and start putting your fires out and chasing this gator that's done nothing wrong except go and walk and be like, how'd that hole in what get in there? So Steph Curry comes in, he's like, I keep doing these, like I ain't got nobody's business to worry about. And he's just doing this in front of Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods is like, what's happened to me? Did you take my mojo? And he's like, well, we ain't gonna talk about that because my mojo's out when I got my family. Where is it going from when I do the turn-ins? So it's 1 second left. And Tiger Woods, what would you do in this moment? They're after that gator. Steph Curry comes in. He's like, well, we're gonna have to do a shot. And he throws a hole-in-one into the water. And the gator thinks it's like Bob Gardner out there, but it's not. It's Steph Curry. Will Chamberlain has come in and caught the ball and said, that ain't Bob Gardner. That's a basketball shot. That ain't golf course. And it's like, well, the gator's question, do I go? Should I stay or should I go? But he goes in anyway because he wants to get snuggled by the water. People don't know that when there's a water to snuggle with it. It's because it's like a little blanket. So all they're doing is they're laying in this water, and they're laying in the water. They got their feet in there. They're trying to act like this is all. There's nobody in here, but there's a gator under there. But they know he's just playing gator, watching golf. He's been doing this, and that's why people start confusing this guy with Mr. Golfzilla. That's not supposed to be named that. And all of a sudden, this innocent gator is out here being called Golfzilla. And somebody's one day said he saw something, he was a miniature creature like a smurf that keeps running around getting my phone. And he's all there trying to get my phone running around, and he's all like, I saw Mr. Golfzilla. And he's like, what'd you say? I said, you saw the Garnacho from the Manchester United Training Academy back in the day. And he's all like, I saw Garnacho running around here, Mr. Pablo. He's got in that water, and you keep saying he's Godzilla, but he's Mr. Godzilla. I've been the one raising him. And I'm like, you raising this kid in front of me when I'm the one teeing off over there when we're flying. And he's all like, let's see how far we're going to go. We're getting Mr. Golf to a touchdown. Mr. Donald protected him and stuff. And Donald should have won the Super Bowl because he did this. But he got Central. He was playing Central. And I don't know how, but he was nominated as MVP in the Super Bowl. I don't know if he did some good moves or something. He's placed defensive line. And he got it right, and he did it. So lately, I was like, maybe if, instead of being inside this outfit of a suit with purple, and he can fit inside it because he's working with me, trying to act like he's got some Batmobile outfit covered. And it's like, well, how about you try working on Mr. Golf and not Mr. Donald? And it's like, why would you not want to be Mr. Donald who's on the Central? He's playing the defensive line Central. And he's got it, and he's like, well, guess what? I'm going to be the most valuable player. He puts on this thing where he's like, hey, I'm going to move around and stuff because there might be something going on in this game because I may not want to be playing for St. Louis Rams. I've been converted to these Rams because back in the day when you had a Ram, you were doing something really, you made a mistake. So, I mean, that person may not want to be involved with Mr. Golf and the dog of this Rams team, not Mr. Donald. That's doing great. The one that's going to be elected. And that's not what I'm trying to get you confused about. But the fact is that there might be somebody that may not want to play on the Rams. So when you pass that ball off and we're going off and stuff, Mr. Garnacho says, hey, I'm not playing anything near the Rams except for the fact the team's logos are big and big close to that. Maybe he's going to need a St. Louis Ram for that moment. So, because what they got going on over there is very old time stuff. So when I start getting questions about where we're going to go and golfing and golf, you got to go spot to speak with Spock out with Mr. Jared Goff and do, hey, man, can you get a long-distance message to Professor X with your style of Star Trek and around when you got the band as your captain? So when I tell people that you need to get going with all this stuff, but it's like I'm saying you need to get to golf, it's Zilla, and it's Golfzilla, and it's not even with it. And his mother comes in, she's like, well, who's all this doing then? And then she comes in, she's stepping around all the time. She got her hair done. And she's like, I've been telling people a long time ago, if you make a problem, my man, if the back down there, but he's getting Cardachos, you better go on and tell me something about it, because I will fix this scenario. She's out here wearing her curls. She's out there looking good. She's looking fine and doing my things. And I'm like, what are you doing? Walking around with your 4 steps and stuff. You ain't got 4 steps? And she's like, I got 4 steps because I'm working doing something for somebody out when I'm cooking. And I'm like, how come, what's your problem that you're cooking? And she's like, my Golfzilla out there, I call Zilla, they're calling him Golf now. They're all like with an F, and it's all like Fogzilla. And I'm like, hey girl, why are you getting so commotion about this? She's like, I had a Komodo dragon come in the other day, and I was trying to say, hey, you can't be considered, you're the dang dragon. You're the dang thing that's got me people scared in a way. And he's all like, just because I live in a world that they can't like succumb to my good juices that come out of my mouth, it doesn't mean that we got stuff going on. They're having a presidential debate with the gator and who's going to be named Mr. Golfzilla. But the thing is, he's the kid that's been named Golfzilla for some time. So the Komodos all get a little bit jealous, but he can't ever reach that status. But he's out here like, Mr. Komodo, you're not a Zilla, you're a dragon. And he's walking around with liquid fire coming out his mouth, and he's like, I'm breathing fire. And Adele makes music, and she's like, from the other side of this water pond, I heard you say something, man. And now we got the music industry inside of what we call the whole universal movies, all earth and planetary realities. So when I go grab that stone from Thanos and say, hey, that's mine because I'm going to sing you that you're on the other side, because they're my music thing, man, and I can put you on this when they're putting, you're finally, I finally got the reality stone. You think that we can't put a gay ass song because I'm not playing games. I know people that are close to me. It's like, hey brother, I'm not coming over there, but we're gonna sing the song. And it goes like this because I have it with somebody already online. It's called With the L's Remix, and it's like. Because the reason is, I'm not against none of that, but when I speak, it's like you're going to think this sounds really gay. So watch how I do it. Golfzilla, and everybody's under the water, and she comes in inside the bush in the mud, and she's wearing that moisty mermaid outfit. And she's like, hello from the other side. I don't think I've laughed and cried. Why don't you do this with me and come out of that ocean? My eyes are watery. It's like, hello from the other side. And I was like, hi, Mr. Zilla, aren't you happy? Zilla goes, ah, thank you so much for singing. He's walking on 2 feet with the tail coming down. And Zilla and the tail's like, dude, you're looking like the thing that was all wicked cold. And she's all like communicating in a nice, loving ways, but he wants to hear more. He's excited. He's like, hello from the other side. And they're getting all really into it. And it's all like, let me tell you about my best friend. And it's like, I think I just made friends with Miss Adele. And I'm like, girl, what's your name? She's like, man, my name is man. I'm out here female. She's like, what you talking about? Look at all this. They start thinking Godzilla is this. And she's all, her mom is like, dang, did my girl become a transvestite in the middle of all this? And he's doing the surgery. So they called Dr. Strange back when he was wearing no cape and he lost his hands. And he was telling people about this thing when he was out with the DC Comics. And he met that alligator that Flash is always fighting against. And he was all like, man, dude, I was doing this. Y'all had no idea because I was working on this thing that we thought would happen when you pull on a cape. And he was all like, guess what? I got somebody that has like Quasimodo back over there. And he's like, we don't need Quasimodo to come down here and tell me this. But when Quasimodo says, hey, you got to go and talk to that thing and go back in time and fix the Marvel Universe the first time, you got to get straight down. And so he says, if not, I got one of these stone characters that move around, act like they don't know what they're doing, but they know more than even us do. So when then Snow White pulls up and the 7 dwarfs are outside, they're running around, they're relaxing. But the thing is, one's really relaxed. He comes up to Mr. Godzilla and says, hey man, when is this drowsy sleepy time? So Pokemon comes in with drowsy, and now it's like all the characters are coming out of all these places and stuff. And it's Mr. What is it called? Snoop Dogg comes in. It's like And so it goes like this, and people are like, dude, how's this happening? We got the music industry cross-reference with all these Marvel universes. And there it's like, but the thing is, we got the DC one because we got Peacemaker coming in to make an entrance about who's gone and took my Gator out. Because he's taking on the role of Mr. Rick Flag. Because Rick Flag, I don't know what happened to him. So Rick Flag is like out there trying to put flags on the corner of the football field because I don't know, he's not a lost spot or somebody's possessed by something at that park and that's scary one, the spooky one where they got pyramids and all that stuff. And I'm like, what happened? And you're like, I just talked to Xerxes, y'all calling all my name. He's like, this dude starts having problems at a soccer field, and he's all like, can somebody come over here? So they call it the DC Legends of Tomorrow, and that guy comes out, and he's out here trying to fix these spooky stuff, but that's in a scenario where we're like, hey man, the Gators and everybody, they're like, you're trying to stomp on my grass field, I'm just trying to do the yard house, the Kentucky field house. And that's all like, hey, let me tell you about that one time. Bring it in here, come as fast as you can, and run the moment I tell you that. And then when you do that, maybe I'll be able to sneak one in and say, I got you. But if you get one of those and you go through time and space and you realize we ain't going to be grabbing shoulders and saying we ain't going over there, we start to wonder who's singing these beautiful songs. So now y'all have all these like Marvel Universes, DC and stuff. And they're all like, man, what happens when you get like this? And it's like, when you get like me, so people are starting to make music reviews and videos of Deadpool 3 with Wolverine because he's gone and met Loki again, who's been sitting back all this time as Wonka. He's acting like Wonka, so there's two Wonkas out, and we don't know which universe they're in. They're all like, well, we're just going to take that one, like decisive, and this one's going to be Marvel-less. And it's like, Marvel last. It's like, well, decisive is going to want to take Marvel less away. But if it's like, hey, that's my movie, though. But so Marvel and Deadpool 3 are like, hold up real quick. That's my show right there, my commercial. Can you get the audience to sell pizzas and open them all up at the same time? Because it happen to be if what's possible could be if Mr. Wishes goes through with not putting one in now, that's not getting that wish. So Harold and now we're talking to Mr. Beecher about what are we going to do while we're flying on the plane because we're still stuck in my office because I'm trying to get back and change it. So the thing is, if he's trying to act like he knows better, but when he does know better, people come to realization that we're out here questioning substance. It's like, well, why do you need substance when you got a purple light for Twitch? And it's like, well, that one woman, she said that I was a Twitch, but I'm not, I'm an F. And what is an F? Well, you don't necessarily spell it with an IF sometimes. It's an ELF. It's like, who are you? And how come you call the word purple out there? He's like, it looks like it's purple to you, young man, but where I come from, I look like I'm late from the Ocarina of Time. And my girl's out there, but there's a girl helping me find my girl, and that girl's getting jealous. And she's like, what are you talking about? The bear that goes around with me all the time giving me advice. She gets found out by Zelda, and Zelda's like, hey, man, if you don't get over here, let's ask your kid. She got raspy boy. She's been out there chunking and worrying about stuff. She's drinking, and she's like, I got ice cubes right now. She's like, if you don't get over here as fast as you can, Mr. Lee, and you don't disengage with this person, she's like, what do you mean? And she just taught me how to, like, fall down spiderways and roll. And it's like, when I went up the spider, the faucet came on. And it's like, well, guess what? If you see a spider surfing on water, I have plenty of times you have to go speak to Mr. Frog, that he's out there wearing the green one, and he's like, hey man, we don't know if you're gonna have to do this to let her to do this. And she's all like, well, if you don't get back to my house, she's like, do you understand that I gotta grow up and become a man before I even make it to your house back in the Ocarina of Time where he's playing the music on it. And he's all like, I gotta learning how to like ride a horse, become an older man, and become this. And she's like, I'm not waiting anymore. And if you don't get back to my house now and you start communicating with that thing, you're gonna have problems. And he's like, well, I'm on the way. And he's running on the way there. He starts putting on the phone. He drops the phone. She's like, where did you go? And he's just gone on chasing to go to her house. Now she's like, well, maybe that woman knows where she's at. So she just like sits outside the window and says, hey, lady in the bright lights that's following him, wherever you are, she keeps doing it like I am legend at 12 o'clock. I'm over here at these coordinates. He's like, if anyone is out there, let me know. If there's somebody out there, let me know. If there's anyone out there, let me know. And she's like, this person, and the thing is, that girl keeps hearing her. She keeps hearing Zelda. And she's like, hey guys, like I keep trying to help you, and she just keeps avoiding that Zelda saying stuff because she said when they get together that she gotta go outside, like she's a puppy running through a doggy door, but my doggy doors are very like open. They have very floppy flaps, and she's like, and she's just running around, and she's like, what do I do with the Zelda? And they're all having this like bachelorette situation back with keeping up with like the Florida in the States. And she's all like running around, and she's like, hey, and now there's a whole like thing about these women that are trying to get with Lee while he's running and having to fight adventures for these girls that might actually beat him halfway. And they're like, if you like meet me halfway, it might be better. And he's like, I don't have a cellular device to speak with you on. And he's all like, what do you mean? The woman's like, I take that personally. So Zelda says, like, you know what? I'll meet you at that golf course where golf is at, because he's the one that might know where my stuff is at. Because I need to go and reach out to him. And when she gets there, she sees Adele. And because he thinks he knows that Adele's name spelled like not Adele. It's he puts in Adele like a computer. And since he has all this technology now because he's been working with Microsoft on Dell, he's all like, guess what? Have you played it with Dale on the wide receivers in Texas, Mr. Marilla? And I'm like, yeah, I have. I saw him throwing the ball the other day when he was catching bullets and stuff and got hit, man. And I was like, well, guess what? Who was the one that had to clean that up for him? Who's the one that helped him at the hospital and put on some patches and put some lotion on it and then laughed? And when I came back, there was a healing device on top of him where he was like, I'm better now. It's like, how are you like this? He's like, well, I may have came from that one time when you were playing tank battle. So now I'm a wide receiver, and they think they're going to get away with not winning the Super Bowl this year. So he's all like, man, I look at this, man, I just darn took a bullet like 50 Cent, man. We're going to get like lift or start flying. Because I'm feeling good. So now we have all these wide receivers with C.J. Stroud. It's like, did we just hire 15 Randy Mosses? But Randy Moss is in the back still celebrating his own thing with it. He did with the field goals with that terrorist pass. And they're all like, hey, how do we keep going about when the gushers are going to come out of Wonka's head? Because his mind is blown about how this is like beyond the levels of what we understand is universal like re-talking experiences where you keep talking about something else, but you can never go re-talking. So when you go re-talking, that means you've done a mistake. But I haven't gone back and spoke about one thing at the same time, like we're talking, like I'm mimicking myself in over about 15 to 30, 400 hours, because I've been doing this since that movie was supposed to come out with If. But then If is out here trying to act like he's a white, green light. But he's not a white, green light with yellow on top. And it looking like we got a star bow with it. And he's just like Mr. The Week. And it's like, I'm just a star boy. And he's all like, wow, how did you do such a great job? It's like, I'm a star boy. He's like, one of your greatest songs to ever come out. And he's out here with Michael Jackson in front of Mrs. Oprah. And Mrs. Oprah's like, Mrs. Oprah's giving him an interview, but Michael Jackson's like, I'm feeling myself. And he's like, and then Oprah's like, you better not ignoring me in front of these people. I'm on an interview. And he's like, well, so she's out here like, you ain't gonna get me on front of my interview in front of these people. I'm gonna keep saying something every few minutes. So she's like, hey, Michael Jackson, can you pay attention? And he's like, and she's like, can you listen? He's like, where are you gonna go? And she's like, it's like, so it's all this time. It's like Michael Jackson's out here trying to get all this music together, but she's out here like, you're not gonna get me a feature without me saying something. You're getting on your audio like you want to get, boy. So he's like, she's like, where are we gonna eat today? And she's, where are we gonna eat? And it's like, where are we gonna eat today? And where are we gonna eat? And it's like, what we're going to do is what we're going to get together here and tell you guys that y'all here making a music video, act like y'all doing something back in 1987. When there's people out here and y'all trying to act like this is the new thing. And it's like, where is this happening? It's like Michael Jackson's come through and he's over here telling Mr. Logan Paul and them, where did y'all go? Because y'all were supposed to do something and now I'm angry. And he's like the last person we ever thought, but he's hired as next to be in line as Hulk. And he's like now become Michael Jackson the Hulk because he's like where my kids were supposed to watch Logan Paul, Mike Tyson. And guess what? He makes an appearance with Mike Tyson and Michael Jackson. And they're talking to each other. And he's like, Michael Jackson's like actually stronger than Mike Tyson at this moment because he doesn't got the tattoo on his face yet. When he gets that tattoo on the face, it changes the things. He's scarier. He's like, what do I do? Is that it's some tribal thing? So he brings in this tribal counselor that knows how to distinguish what kind of thing that's from. That well, when he looks at where he got it, Mike Tyson is so very abstract about how where he got it. It's possibly from Antarctica tribe, the tribe of Antarctica. They're out there, and he's all like, people think we're out here doing stuff, but I can't tell too much about it. We're out here in Antarctica, and there's people flying around here. Next thing I see is this thing called going around, called like I'm like, wait, man, where's that thing flying? It's like it's just LaGuardia Airport or something. And it's like this beluga whale that's gone on and changed into a bird. And it's called Lugia. And Lugia's flying around and he's got Zapdos trying to chase him, but Gyarados is after Zapdos. And they're all like, dude, what's going on? Articuno's coming in painting and people have gone on and said he's got Superman's breath. He's like, that's what they think of me. Now I'm gonna take that personally because when I come out with this, when I come out with a brand, it's a brand of painting, of art, of music, and all these movies. And Articuno's just like, and Superman hears about it. He's like, hey, come on over here, Mr. Articuno. Let me tell you something. If you're going to go out saying you live it in the winter, but you're using your hot breath for painting on my snow, because I'm chilling in the Phantom Zone with my daddy, if you got problems with it, if the ego comes in saying somebody talk about dads in here, and he's like, well, we go better call my son. Peter comes in, we're out in the snow ops. We're out in snow ops. We're out here doing that, and Ramirez shows up wearing her snow ops outfit, but it's the Trailblazer skin. If you got a Twins Pride, back in the day, she's looking like she's got a backpack too. She's looking well prepared, and now she's there, but she's looking like she's an Ottawa now. She's wearing a camo outfit in the middle of the snow. So when they're out in the snow, all of a sudden, one of the ice melts where she's wearing a backpack and she got some hot soup inside. And it drips down. It causes this gator from Godzilla to come through. He's like, whoa, what's happened here? There's a geyser coming out of the ground where the water thought was coming from the soup. And then the geyser has sucked in people like it did Michael Jordan in Space Jam. And that's when he's like, puts his hand in there. And he comes out, and Michael Jordan still saying, I believe I can fly. And Mike Tyson are out here trying to figure out what's going on while Michael Jackson's with Oprah Winfrey. It's just like, and she's like, hey, it's Oprah. And she's like, hey, I work for me. And it's like, hello from the other side. And then Adele makes an entrance, and they're all here in the Arctic. And they're thinking, like, dude, Mike Tyson's like, dude, y'all gone on and snitched my tribe. And everybody's all like, what do you mean we snitched on your tribe? You want to get painted on. So Articuno comes out and goes, and paints another distinguished element on his face. And he's like, you got that problem with anything? And she comes through, her mom is like looking for Godzilla. She's like, hey, and then the mom comes through with the geyser. She's like, hey, what have y'all got going on in here? She starts seeing Miss Godzilla acting like she's out here being like a person from like she's walking on 2 feet in the snow. She's like cold-blooded or warm-blooded. And he keeps looking to be, where can I lay down? Because it's cold. And he's like laying down by this guy. She's laying down by this geyser. Next thing you know, there's a person from Miss Gilmore comes in, and she's like, I'm looking for I'm looking for Peter Quill. And she's like, why, how do you come down and just tell everybody what to do? It becomes silent. And Peter Quill says that to her, but the girl's like, who are you talking to, Mr. Quill? Are you excited about seeing how I'm walking on 2 feet? And she looks at Godzilla and she's like, wait, that don't mean that you talking to her. And she takes this is another creature. He's been known to go around the Guardians of the Galaxy and go around those people and say, hey, and I may have had something going on out there. But this is what it seems to be. So she's all like, let's go over here and have a one-on-one like we were going to do with Logan Paul and Mike Tyson. And she's all like, get back, you don't know me like that. And she's all like singing these songs, and all these songs are getting in. And she's all like, and I'm like, dude, y'all need to chill out here, man. I'm making interest because I hear people arguing and stuff in my universal cinematic, low-key, abstract, come on with the time police. And it's all like, well, Wolverine might be there too, and y'all keep forgetting about what he's going to be driving when he's driving Deadpool in the suburban townhome. And that's like, well, guess what? Why don't we go over there and get Mr. Let's get the other ones. And he's like, well, guess who the other ones come? Monsters Inc. is now in, and it's like, get me a Pixar. And Pixar comes in, and he's like walking around with the green self, and he's like, hey, what do we got going on here? And then the guy from If is like, don't I recognize you? Talks to his cousin. And he's like, man, we already know what I've been through. I've always been to try to make sure everybody's happy. And then If is like, everybody's happy, let me try to give that to you. Next thing you know, Wish comes in from that movie. It comes out with Mrs. Morona. And she's all like, you're trying to take claims to my things, If. And she's like, my name is Wish. And she's like, guess what? You can't be doing that because if we go and talk about this, she says, let's go backstage, let's go into Pablo's dressing room and talk about Wish and If and all these things. So that's where we are now, and y'all keep thinking that we're not in there and it's not talking stuff. But what it is, it's like, is it, or are we outside though? So it's like, well, guess what? Do you think that this could be outside, or do we know that where we may have to call Mr. Golfzilla and to stop walking around? And Golfzilla is stumbling around because he's pissed. Because people keep thinking he's a woman or she's a man, and he doesn't go and correct nobody because he ain't got this communicational situation where it's like, hey, I can't tell nobody my gender. So he's been crossed off on his DNA code on how to get things going on a creature that you can't really say his gender. So people keep calling him a man, or they keep calling him a female. So we have to call him a Ventura that comes in and says, can you tell us more about this? But he's stuck inside that little thing where he got to get out of because it's very hot. And he's all like, man, who's calling me, man? He's like, well, guess what? You didn't get back to that place over there where there's Mr. Niagara Falls. And he's all like giving a report, like, man, can somebody tell me the news? It's like Zelda comes in and she's like, I'm looking for and she's like, I'm in here. This is 12 o'clock here in Zelda's palace. She's like, I am trying to get a hold of these people. If there's anyone out there, can we go? And then she picks up the phone and somebody says, hey, I can hear you. And Golfzilla's like, who has gone on and talked to my man? And it's this person. Golfzilla's out there trying to catch where these balls have gone. Somebody has made the sound like they're playing with Tiger Woods, so it sounds like a perfect hit. And it's like all of a sudden it lands right in the water, and Golfzilla's dropping through geysers to the other side of the world, where he goes on to Australia now. And he's like, everybody's missing him, but he's like, I gotta find my way back home like Spider-Man was doing. And he's doing it with Justin Timberlake. And they're like, I gotta find my way back home. And somebody's riding the back of Mr. Golfzilla. But Golfzilla thinks his compass is going north when he's going south. Everything's like moving around because his universes are a little bit not stable. They're like a police vehicle called constables or constables. So when you ever start talking about it, the police start wondering, hey, where's this constable at? Because we're looking for the leprechaun. And they're all like, that is him. There he is. He's driving around. And he's got a police outfit, but he's got a referee one he's hiding under. He's trying to make sure that he is covered ninja from my stream. He was all like, well, guess what? How did you get through here? But I was wondering who went on and took my boat. And it's like, well, guess what? Is my grappler out? That's why when he's Spider-Man, I'm using the grappler. People keep talking to this. You want a grappler in the game. It's the blue beat that got a hooker on it. And I said, where's my hook grappler thing in the game? And who took my boat? Ninja has gone on and took my bow in the game and trying to get my lightsaber back out, and the stormtrooper comes out and hits his head. He hits his head there and he's like, this is like my time to shine. He makes an indention where he hits his head because he don't know how to get his head into there. So he starts making an indention in all these doors and keep getting open for them. And he's over there, it's like, dude, did you just destroy some of that plastic material that has metal coverings? And he's like, yeah, man, it's not such a bad problem when things are looking not bad, because like now I can walk through without clumsiness. The thing is, sir, is wherever you're walking by, it's going to be kind of clumsy because it's going to be obvious. You're going to look like you're obviously not from here. Let me see what you got under that helmet. So now we got the gentleman from BB-8 that's running with BB-8, and he's got taken out himself because he's taller than all of them. And he's out in the past, and he's like, dude, y'all got me. It's like, well, let me see what you got. You might be looking like me because we're supposed to be stormtroopers. It's like, let's have an aim shooting contest. So we start reviewing my stream and stuff, and we're like, hey, I think that man had this face when he was moving this way, but it looks like he didn't this, that, but he do a 200 pop on me because I pulled on the left trigger and blocked the thing. You know, we're all like, it's like, and I started calling all these people about, hey, can we do a review about the situation being Ninja? Because first of all, he's out here stealing my boat, and he's come past risky reels. So he's like, bro, we gotta have like a huge Jedi moment, and I made a movie about it on my YouTube, Filthy Animal. It's there. You can see like they're having in the middle island a huge meetup of me with Ninja because he's gone backwards and he's like, I'm hungry for killing more people. So he turns around and starts shooting a sniper at me while I'm behind him. So that must mean that there's no way to be stream sniping somebody that's going to turn around and go after you with full-blown gold loadout. So now we're having, it's like the return of the Jedi situation when I'm on top of the cabin of the woods thinking that I was going to be making it out of there. So when I'm out there, I'm like, hey man, I block it with the wall, wooden wall, and then I pull out my saber, and it's all like, and he's all like, how you do is, like block it and stuff in the game, and all of a sudden he's like, he has me for like 170, I got like 31 left. And I'm like, I got it in the back. I'm like, this hurt me. I feel it all through my body. I'm streaking, and I'm like, I'm in the game or something. And I'm outside the game. I'm so into the game that I'm like, and I block it again, and I'm like, and I do a slam dunker on, and he goes, and I'm like, dude, welcome to the Pinata show, because now I have to distinguish how am I going to get back to 200 HP without having to eat fish, because I don't need animals. So I'm sitting in here shoving fish in all these healing objects in my face when a referee man pulls up named Mr. Blizzard. And I'm like, Blizzard, have you heard about what's going on? Don't hurt me. I need to get back because you come over here and try to snipe me after I took Mr. Ninja out because he came to attack me first. I was just standing my ground. I just had the higher ground with a lightsaber and snowballs and all these other protection devices. But then that's not always the case. So Tyler comes into my chat about 20 minutes later and says, do you remember that dude that you took out the big little island? He was like, I was like, yeah, man, what's the big deal? I have an anonymous mode for viewing and external purposes too. He's like, dude, that was Ninja. And he's like, you're trash, dude. It's like, well, who could that be that's coming in my chat acting like he's on the loading screen when he's just queuing in? He's just starting to go into my chat and be like, oh, that was Mr. This's thing. And that's how his thing's going. But when he realizes he's watching my stream for 20 minutes and this man's not claiming the glory of taking Ninja out, he's all like, man, you know what? I got to tell this man that he actually took out the greatest one to possibly ever touch the Fortnite and go on stream for World Cup purposes and promotions with Dr. Lupo. And he's all like, this man has no idea that he just did this, but he's humble with it. He's out here like saying, man, you know what? I appreciate the competition that was out in this time of the day. It's really not so bad when things are looking good. And he's all like, well, let me go on and send him a message and tell him with this little Easter egg what he thinks he can do when he's trying to sneak into my stream and say, hey, how are we going to get on his stream? He's like, well, guess what? I got one sentence, one shot, one opportunity, one chance to blow. He's playing with Detroit Lions. He's all like, Eminem is making it to the stadium and everybody's there. And Little Ninja has to type something in my chat with one sentence. And he's like, you know that guy that wasn't in the island, that was me, that was Ninja, that was the guy that was Ninja. And like, that was a nice shot, you're trash, kid. And I'm like, guess what, man? Have you ever survived in one game sitting in one of them garbage tins? Because I have yet to accomplish that one that they're trying to do with the other gentleman that's out there with Creamy, McCreamy. McCreamy is out there trying to get people to unlock these new sort of features and seeing if these myths or fails go on. Well, how can you win when you're sitting in the trash can? But McCreamy's probably received that on back in the OG seasons. It was like, hey man, I think I'm gonna pass on that trial myth and error. And then Myth comes in and he's like, dude, I wear my outfits like this. You think you're gonna catch me one of them like Dodge Ram level events of trash bin? Can you win inside of one of those? So Nick Merckx makes an entrance and he's all like, I ain't gonna be doing that. Who else gonna catch me before I do that in front of everybody? So all the men family coming out here, they're all like, hey man, whoever gonna be the first one to win on that source where you hide in one of those things. But the thing is, well, how is this happening? Because I've just jumped back into Epic Games Gears of War and we're talking and we're playing and I got the turbo and then we got the things that we're playing. It's like I got all these things and it's like, dude, and that might be playing with Nick Merckx. We don't even know who's on my team at this time because I'm playing OG games. And Nick Merckx is like, dude, how could we have played with a game that we're hiding inside the garbage can? But when I said, hey, don't be talking bad about that garbage when it turns into a recycled center and becomes something that becomes like a Porsche 911, then don't be mad at me. Because if the problem is, Mr. Bittenberg, it's not a problem. Because the thing is, when you turn that garbage, you recycle it, and it turns into a word Porsche, and it's not 9/11, 2001, George Bush is going to come check in. And he's going to be like, sir, y'all got something going on. Y'all talking about terrorist activity. That garbage thing right there could save your life if you're in a certain situation. And he's like, but I haven't yet to step in one. So y'all out here acting like y'all ain't got no wisdom, knowing that thing, if that circle was closing and you don't have no mats, what you perfectly be doing, you ain't gonna be losing the game. And all of a sudden we have like a mystic opportunity with Bill Belichick. It's like, did I just reach this one of the greatest coaches and opportunities that I've ever seen? And he's like, I'm a Patriots head coach. Well, guess what? DeMeco Ryan says it's my time now. We're standing here, and it's time to play against the Browns. It's Cleveland and Texans playoff season wild card round after they have just played. And it's like, dog, DeMeco, you did such a great job. You changed the team around. It's like, hey, Pablo, do you understand that I got to get going because they're talking about what we're going to be able to do as a team over here? Because they're out here thinking that this recycled stuff can't be used. You don't necessarily have to go back into being a Porsche, not electric. But then Mr. Bush is like, hey, sir, we are not able to negotiate with terrorists. You're out here trying to say this. And then all of a sudden, Harold comes in, has a genie, and he's like, as his genie's friend with Kumar. And Kumar's acting like a genie, and he's like, dude, y'all all got this. It's that George Bush from the president. It's from the movie from Kumar, man. And it's like he's sitting there with Harold and Kumar go to what's it called, Guantanamo. And they're sitting there, and it's like, dude, man, y'all need to take this guy and tell him, man, he's got good housing and lodging for if you're having an emergency fall from an airplane with the Beecher and all this stuff. And he's all like, man, this isn't that he's playing a card. He's a con artist acting like he's president. And he keeps thinking people are coming out of the woodworks, falling from the sky in his house. And he's like, you know what? These people coming in my house, they're falling down like this. It's just Harold and Mr. Kumar, but they got a parachute on. They ain't claiming to be anything. They're just flying. But the thing is that it's the parachute is made out of ifs, whatever he thinks he is. Because if he has a problem what he thinks he is, and he want to be stagnant and be one thing all the time, well then that's your vital choice. And when you're in the hot seat on who wants to be a millionaire, it's like, hey, is this the vital question? It's like, would I want to be able to fit inside one thing at a time always for 24/7 and never do anything else? Or should I be able to go and become what I want to be? And it's like, well, Spider-Man says with so much responsibility that you were talking about doing, you're going to have to be smart and wise with this. And all of a sudden, we got Miles Morales coming around with the Sour Patch Kids on Wonka. And Wonka's all like, dude, this ain't Sour Patch Kids anymore. We're going to have a problem with branding. And Russell Crowe and Russell Brand come in here and they're all like, hey, yo, dude, you ain't got these problems anymore. There's a gentleman out there supporting me, what if, and then F the movie and Deadpool 2 and Wolverine based upon what he's doing with his imagination. And he's gone out and brought trillions of dollars of donations, and we don't need to be calling Sour Patch Kids walk sours or Sour Patch Nuts ropes. And he's all like, well, who said something about nerds ropes? I come out with the ropes and they're gooey, and then somebody's like, that's a claim on the Twizzler Foundations. And they're like, hey, did somebody talk about the Twizzlers? And somebody finally said something to me that really threw me off in front of all these people. We're in the Arctic, we got food, we got dang candy coming around here. Articuno's like painting with Wonka, and Wonka's flying with Articuno. It's like, yee, yee, and he's like, pfft. All of a sudden, he's flying his Wonkas with Articuno, and Beluga Whale is flying inside this thing as a dolphin, inside the geyser on accident, even though it's not such a geyser anymore. It's become like a water fountain that's become a Niagara Falls situation where there's like a Grand Canyon, and then it goes down there, and it says tattoos are not right for you in the sense of, wow, dude, let's go put our fingers in the sandbox. He's all like, well, what do we do here? Because we see Walker with the Articuno. Articuno got a very radiant style of colors coming out. And he says, I think I heard somebody say Mr. Pablo's out there giving a director's cut of the situation he was with the ninja. And they're all talking about, hey, how about we get the recycling center and try to win a game inside one of those and hide there. But the fact is, this is the man that's giving you the idea about how to win the game no matter what it takes. Because the D'Amico Ryans is here, says we do whatever it takes to go on and beat these Cleveland players. And he's all like, but the problem is that he keeps getting players from the college, Ohio State. And so we're out here having play, and it's like, what's going on here? Man, what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, this might be the Hall of Fame situation where we have D'Amico and Bill Belichick together. But it's like, hold on, I see somebody flying, a white big bird that happens to have Wonka on top, and the bird is all like, ooh. Twizzlers are coming out, and all of a sudden somebody comes in, and it's like the guy from Game of Thrones, and he's all like, who's out here blowing stuff? It's the Night King, but he's got a problem. He's in a place where everybody takes everything so deliberate. So he goes on and says, why is that person's Articuno? And it's like, that person's not supposed to be this color because I'm the Night King. I should be riding on that color, the white horse. And it's like, the white horse, you've been riding one. Now you want to go get another thing and fly on one. And it's like, I got you, man. Here you go. He speaks with Daenerys and gets himself a meeting, and they're all together, and it's like these dragons, this black dragon shows up, and he's like, I'm the dragon of all dragons. And it's like, Frodo Baggins is trying to hide in this thing with all these coins under the Arctic. And Frodo Baggins is like, you let me fight my ring because I named it for my Bilbo. And all of a sudden, they're running around in these caves inside the snow, and somebody like Godzilla, whatever you want to call his name, her name. It's like, you know what? I ain't gotta be inside. That's cold outside. She's shivering. So Mr. Hulk comes in, and he's all like, hey, remember who Hulk was back in the day? He goes on and puts a sweater, a knitted one. And she's like telling him, you know, one day when you get better, we're gonna have a sit down about what we're gonna do with the Space Jam movie. And she's out here knitting and stuff. And she's all like, hey, remember the girl from that's with Lola Bunny on Space Jam, the older lady that seems to be older, but she's chills with Lola, and she's knitting all the time. She's out here saying, well, whenever I get my golf Godzilla back, and y'all stop playing around with her, I'm gonna be really angry. And I'm like, well, who darn told you this, man? You darn did this, and you darn bring that back over here. And she's like, I don't take orders from you, young man. I got people like Mrs. Peggy out here. And then they're all here. It's like, what if Peggy from What If in the real world about Marvel Comics is out here. In Chapter 2, Season 8, there's actually one where they're using Peggy a lot. But Mrs. Piggy's like, that's not the way you say my name, y'all. We got a problem here. We need to go see how this is going on. So Mrs. Piggy's all like, where's the God? Where'd you get that attitude from, Mr. Pablo? How are you able to communicate like this? That comes from the Arkansas. Where are we going? And it's like where we play football, and Nick Chubb comes in. He's like, yo, dude, y'all keep playing with my team like that, we're going to win Super Bowl titles inside the FBS community. And it's like, what does that mean? He's like, well, that they said it's the championship. It's like, well, you've been drafted onto the NFL team. You're not with them anymore, Nick. And he's like, Nick Burks comes in. He's like, dog, man, we talking about trying to win that game by blowing a myth out the water with Nick Creamy and Ninja and Myth. And we're doing a squadron collection of, oh, how we gonna do this? So Cloaksy comes in. He's like, yo, bro, y'all need to get back over here. It's time to get the skirmish going on. And it's like, because somebody's about to really roll y'all over with the talking down stuff. He's going to go and tell you about how you're going to recycle this thing, and he's going to go and tell you how you can become something with that stuff. And it's like, well, he's going to think he's going to get a slide one too, so Tifu's rolling out the window because he's got this baby going all around because he's hanging, when you see the helicopter, he's got like this Captain Underpants, a superhero one day, and he was all like, man, I got somebody to be Captain Underpants. And it's all like, guess what? He's on a helicopter with one of them body things, and he's got this thing, and he's holding the faucet, and he's riding around. He's all like, man, who's Speed doing all this stuff? And he's all like, well, guess what? We're going to have to put on the emote that dog looking like this. It's like, who's gone on and said something about winning in tacticals? Who got the final win? It's like, well, guess what? We're still yet to find out because the circle keeps on getting tighter inside that place. So I go in there and I'm like, well, now there's a Porsche 911 that's going to be in there. And guess what I see? Guess what? There's somebody out of there that's very scary. There's a scary creature coming out because somebody's gone on and turned this space matter continuum into some water, and this has become a faucet, and it's now like turning into liquid water in front of everybody, and they're all like, well, guess what? This is going to be swamp. Llamas are out here. You can't be talking down about this. The llamas come in and say, this is a corrective action order. Let me get my police outfit off, and she throws it off, and she's like, let me tell y'all something. If anyone has a problem with this man not killing nobody and surviving to the very end, y'all better go take it up get it right up and go to your principal's office. Because if that's how you win without hurting any life form in my life, y'all better learn from him right away. So Wonka comes in and he's like, and he blows all over this like area that happens to be a storm chasing clothes around. And he's all like, hey man, what going on in here? And he's all like, hey, I'm speaking in this way to let y'all know that if there's somebody out there that's looking inside their places, there might be something that we can get something going. So when you go and get your lightsaber against Ninja, you win, and you're deciding, should I get fish or should I get shield post? Should I fish or should I field post? And it's like, should I do this? And it's like, well, guess what? You need to take your referee out and put it back on. Because these people are going to need a referee. Can you close the window? Now I have changed the past and altered the destiny of how I'm going to survive the situation. So Mr. Blizzard is all like, let me fix this for you, man. And so I'm sitting there drinking shields and I've regretfully not eaten the fish yet. And I'm out here running back to Slurpee. And somebody comes in my chat now and it's like, dude, you've gone on to possibly win this game and have a featurette where you won the game and have me come in and telling you how great you are. And he's all like, dude, what have you done? He's like, I've changed the past, the future a little bit. He's all like, how'd you do that? Because I said that you were trash. And it's like, but I was. And I'm like, dog, how is that even a legal requirement when you're saying that you just lost and you're talking down on me? So now the chat is saying, man, dude, do you know that dude that you took on the island? Man, that happened to be Ninja Tyler Blevins. And it basically says, you're great, man, at doing what you do in the game because you're humble with it. And let me write you a story about this. So Eminem comes in and he's like, you got that one shot, one opportunity, the one chance to blow, and we're out here together. And he Pablo's about to do a slam dunk Shaquille O'Neal on Ninja, and something stops him. Ninja grabs it, pumps spaz, and blocks it. And it's like, and all of a sudden Ninja takes off his mask in the game with the Renegade Raider, the dinosaur outfit. And he's all like, Darth, don't hurt me, I'm your son. And I'm like, dude, don't hurt you, I'm your son. I'm like, man, then who's your daddy? You need to tell me now. It's like, I don't hurt nothing. He's like, all of a sudden my lightsaber starts spinning around and Samuel L. Jackson's like, I've been looking for this, but Yoda and Walker are arguing about it. So they're all like, well, what's happening? The lightsaber's falling like this, and if it lands on any of us, we're out of there together. So the next thing you know, somebody goes, All of a sudden, Willy Wonka grabs Ninja and says, "Hey man, you're not gonna have to go wait this minute because this is so despicable that we're gonna have to call in Mr. Jokic from the Denver Nuggets to tell him that this was just a savage recovery. You call him trash, but not all of this just because you're gonna come in here and talk about Call of Duties and games like that. You talking about you trash, kid. But I'm the one that won in that moment because you turned around coming after me, and I'm holding my island down, and it's like, am I lost or something? No, you're on Fortnite's mixed lightsaber, and you have regretfully accidentally said daddy because you're trying to make a whole scenario about, hey, Darth, I'm your son. It's like, dude, I'm not Darth Vader here, dude. I got a purple lightsaber that comes from Samuel L. Jackson. You got a problem with that? He's like, well, dude, they used to say that the Darth Vader used to be this way, but Darth Vader ain't that way. He's completely the other color. So this thing comes in with the dragon, the Articuno, and it's like, hey, we could be yin and yang and get it on right now. And they're all like, dude, this is not the right way to do this because there's a thing from Game of Thrones coming out. And there's a guy named Bran driving the Black Dragon to go meet Articuno. And Bran is sitting there in a daze. It's like, hey, man, y'all got a problem right here. There's a guy that I took his job because he was right away to hold the door. There was people out there, and I had to get the door open, and the whole door got it. But before that happened, there was a guy that looks like Darth Vader sitting in there. He's not such a bad guy, so it's not so bad when things are looking good. So there's a guy sitting in the tree with bread before he takes throne of sitting in the tree where he's going to be able to be any animal, and he acts like he's this thing. He's sitting there, he's like, let me show everybody who this is. So he starts going back in time, and people are wondering how he becomes the king of Game of Thrones at the very end, but he's over here literally nonchalantly going back in time and controlling all these animals. But he's actually trying to be one. And he's like, I believe I can fly comes on, and Michael Jordan comes in through with the Looney Tunes. They all come falling through this thing. But it's like, it takes them on one of those little side escalators, and they're like, dude, you ain't falling today. Spider-Man, he's come in and made another catch. He's doing all these things, and people are like, we're going to have to get these people into safety because I can't have my grandma telling people about where my life is. So, because my girl's out there, and if you think I better be going with Mr. Somebody down that passenger road while we're riding dragons and Articunos with Willy Wonka painted candy on the floor. And it's all like, dude, what is on the floor? People are gripping and grappling. It's like now become a Willy Wonka, like Willy Wonka in the ice factory. But and all of a sudden, it's like we see a focus where he's the opposite. It's like, guys, I think I've got myself in a communication situation because Willy Wonka in the other stories, he made something out of chocolate back a long time ago, about $3 trillion worth of chocolate. He made him a whole castle, if you remember, go look at it. But one day the king was in there during a hot day and it started melting and it was all paints and stuff falling on him. And I'm like, dude, what's going on here? So Willy Wonka's like, I have a recovery situation, dude. And he's all like, put my phone in recovery because I'm going to go in recovery mode. And he's all like, what do you mean? You ain't no digital computer. He's like, well, Adele's out here singing from the other side and Zilla's out here doing all this. And she's all like, he's like, well, guess what? We're going to go in recovery mode about painting all this stuff on the ground. So now it's all like myth. It's all like, well, guess what? Who won that game, man? And I'm like, hey, bro, who you think we're going to win, man? We going on ahead and turn that thing into a water-breathing faucet because I've been looking for this faucet that's come out and it's giving out candy, bro. And I'm out here sitting here and people are out in the storm and I'm just eating this super candy. These mushroom candies that they've turned from slurpees, one is one of the new expeditions that they were doing. They turned into liquid mushroom caps and they were all like, Captain, can you start telling? So all of a sudden Pablo's inside the game and he's not inside of what they used to think. And he's out here and he's just sitting there eating and eating and eating. He's staying fit and he's gone on and found a water that turned into a peach. And this peach is like, well, look, we had a question about somebody digging in my peaches the other day. And let me tell you something, Mr. Pablo. Did you go on and do a feature where you won against somebody and nobody said anything? You stayed humble and you kept it going. And he was worth like having 3 billion viewers live at the time. And you just kept on just like going on like you didn't do nothing. Tifu comes back through the window and says, guys, the Silver Skirters about to start. You have to get somebody better with the game here. So the game starts going on, and he's out here with his dogs, and they're all making these boats in the chat and all this stuff with the Bitcoin. And it's like somebody's gonna have to get this win because they're gonna have to get the Bitcoin. Because so Pablo says he refuses to keep on drinking. There's water, Bitcoin's involved because somebody got Bitcoin on the other end of the spectrum. So Beecher comes in and he's like, if you don't win this game, Mr. Pablo, like you were supposed to do with Mr. Ninja, we're gonna go put you back in the time that you did take him on and won in that one as well. And you basically, but you didn't win the whole server game. And he says that you were trash. So he's like, dude, it's like, Beecher, how did you gain such all this knowledge? And it's like, dude, I guess what? This is how you do it. And he starts saying this. Say, dude, I'm like, Beecher, you go back to your Bitcoin machine and stop chilling on this thing and go and tell Tfue that we got to get this game going on. And the game time has frozen and we're stuck inside the server. The thing is, we have somebody coming out the cabins that's been conning people. It's that constable. That constable that's been running around in the referee outfit, things I forgot about, named Z Blizzard. It's like, hey, man, what are you going to do with all that? I have a question for you. You act like you're this thing, but you know who you really are. Stop jumping around because I'm going to call the X-Men Force on you that has the skin, that has a diamond on it, and that changes all this. And then the blue Mrs. Whatever her name is, that she works the Beast, she goes out here, she's wearing blue, she's looking like, hey man, we're gonna get this going and stuff. So Matthew McConaughey comes from Interstellar, tells Mr. Peter Quill about what he's doing on that ship with that girl that they were supposed to be with. They're planting stuff inside there. All of a sudden, inside that house, it's like, whoa, this is Planter's environment. There's Mr. Ego who can make an entrance. So now we've just crossed over to another dimensional universe of a movie that has its own universe, but it's just two people inside a spaceship. And they're all like, hey, man, well, who's got the gadgets to make this thing grow faster? It's like, who's got the gadgets to make this thing grow faster? The green thumb comes out from back in the day when he's got like that garden green thumb. And he's like, did somebody say something? And then we're stuck inside this little thing where it's like, hey, man, where can we drink some of this juice and stuff? He's like, you can go down to that area and maybe pull in the fountain drinks. And we're like, hey, guess what? I got this flavor. But that's like what I was thinking when you start to molecularize things that I'm out there and say, hey, come on over here. Because I'm not going to say, you gotta go. I ain't doing all that. I ain't a bad person. And all of a sudden, it's like, where in the fuck are everybody? And all of a sudden, it's like, where in the fuck is ours, everybody? And then it's like it's Armageddon or something. It's like, no, man, it's Toys R Us. And guess what the Toy Story comes out. It's like, you gotta bring me. Reptar comes in as a green creature, and he's like, hey, Arcudo and Zilla, y'all got problems, man, because there's people walking around here, and y'all can't be doing this and find that. These are supposed to be when you know the rules. And they're like, we're sorry, Mr. Reptar. You're freaking right. So all of a sudden, Walker's going down with Arcudo and Zilla, and they're just all like trying to act like they're not there. And they're idle. They're not going to get hurt because they're made to have caught inside of them. Because in this moment, we got the Toys R Us moment. And now we're out there playing baseball. And then all of a sudden, there's this person knitting. And it's like, who's that person knitting on Looney Tunes? She's out here making Toys R Us stuff that's going to be on Toy Story. Buzz Lightyear comes in, like, flying around. And he's all like, anybody got anything else to say? And it's like, dude, Buzz, let me tell you something. Woody Allen's going to tell you something right now if you don't get back to where you know how to act. Because if Andy walks in the room and he says that you're doing this, y'all going to be in big trouble because he's going to see y'all walking around, and it's been 30,000 million years that the last time he's ever seen any of that, because he's never did it. He's only heard somebody actually make a mistake. So Mr. Potato Head's like, oh, that's me. That was one. He's like, dude, don't make a sound again. This happened 30,000 years ago. Mr. Potato Head's glasses fell one time forward because he was at that one spot. And he was all like, it made like a clap sound, but nobody was moving for the last 3 hours. So why did that happen? It's because Mr. Potato Head was staring at Mrs. Potato Head, and he was getting a little heated. And it got it fell off his face, and it's just like he couldn't do anything. So now they're laying down, and everybody's laying down there. They're acting and playing like they've gone on and made something else, but they're all laying here because they got caught interior. Even Willie's acting like he's like Woody Allen, and he's acting like he's got Woody Allen. He's holding Mr. Basically Mr. He's got Woody Allen with Buzz Lightyear. And he's like, you got a friend in me. And he's out here not saying, hey man, you're a cowboy style walker. He's like, Buzz is telling him that. He's like, you're exactly, y'all aren't supposed to tell nobody how I look. And he's all like, look at me, I got the same hat as him, but it's just purple. I just jumped in inside him. And it's like, but you got a brand new. So when you start getting back with Deadpool 3 and Wolverine, brought to you by Marvel and Prey Promotion, you got to realize that they're all supposed to be acting like this, but they're walking around doing what they don't need to be doing in front of everybody. And now Pablo's out here saying what's inside this water fountain. There's all the stuff coming down the fountain. And it's all of a sudden the spiders like come out the mountain and when she comes, and it's like the spider's gone down the faucet when she's supposed to be coming, but it's not a spider. It's all these things from existence and realities. And y'all were over here talking down on space-time continuum. And it's all these things coming out the faucet. Pop was like, well, let me put that in my inventory, but he only got 5 slots. So he's all like, what can I do with this? And Walker comes out and gives him like a llama right at the last second, and Pablo has to hold it down, and he holds the llama down to win the game, but he has to do it immediately with the instant response time. And he gets it, and he goes 5, 4, 3, and the storm guard's getting on him at the 4, and it's like he's down to 40 HP. He gets slurp juice out of the llama right away, going up and stuff, trust, like all these things that are gonna get him shielded up all the way. The llama's like, this is the prize possession win, and he's now gone and win the game with Ninja in it, but there's still got stuff going on in the other server. So Pablo's out here celebrating how he beat Ninja, and with all these people that are in the game, and he doesn't want the queue to stop. So he's out here, he's like, you come in here, man, the guy doing Mr. Camera replays out here. Can you go and pause this moment? Because I just read the slurp juice and I'm able to maybe reach you in the place of a song called Kanye West, Can You Get Much Wider? And I was all like, can you get much lighter? And I was all like, dude, I need to get this fixed. And I'm over here telling this guy Phoebe, and he's all like, Phoebe, what are you doing with Phoebe? And he's all like, dude, who's talking to me? Guess who shows up? There's all these people out here trying to act like they're doing something for somebody. And Zelda's out here screaming at her top of her lungs. You don't know what I had to do to be inside this thing that's coming out, pouring out people and all these things inside this fountain, inside my world. And now it's like a waterfall of Niagara with Ace Ventura. And he's giving out an interview with Bruce. And he's all like, Mr. Ben Affleck is acting like he's on the show, and he's all like Bruce, and then Bruce is like, all these things are starting to come out of the faucet, dude, and we're all like, man, we're going to do, how do we get this fixed? And it's all like, well, give me a moment here. So now we go back to the courthouse where these people got to get a dismissed case, and Funky Nelson comes in, he's all like, listen, man, y'all got a problem with me, y'all go ahead to take this outside. And they're like, what's wrong with you? You seem to have got something in you. And they're all like, Deadpool 3 with Wolverine's coming out. I gotta make my appearance. Everybody in Deadpool, in this sense, where there's another comic where Stan Lee makes one called Deadpool Takes on the Marvel Universe. It's because Deadpool thinks everybody's possessed. So Foggy Nelson says, you know what? Again, I'm gonna be another one that crosses the universes. And I'm gonna tell everybody that I'm acting like I'm this, but I'm not. Because that's how you get the show rolling. But low key's like you're gonna try to beat me in time, and all of a sudden there's somebody sitting down on this throne about time and space, and Brand's walking around in the sense of like he's gonna change it to where Darth Vader is trying to act like he's fine, but he's not Darth Vader, the same actor, and he's not sitting there just because he's wearing black and he got like this skin that's bright as snow. He's all like, dude, let me tell you something, man. I'm not Darth Vader. That's what I'm starting to tell Ninja down here. And he's like, you're telling me that I had my father be Darth Vader. And he's like, guess what? Have you ever seen him walk around with none of the suit on? Anakin comes in and he's like, dude, listen, man, you keep telling anybody about what's going on about my stepbrother, you're going to have a problem. And he's like, what do you mean, Mr. It's not, I'm not even blowing with you guys. Y'all got this problem about being on with Darth Vader. And I'm like, dude, you're having like notebook scenario with Ryan Gosling back on the canoe. So let me tell you about where you got to go back to the immigration department where all the ducks going around the notebook. And then y'all gonna tell me where this man, y'all think this man that got a pajama outfit and he's slam dunking lightsabers on him, he's gonna tell him that his father's Darth Vader. But one thing's for certain is that Yoda comes in, he's laughing because he can't cry in laughter anymore. And he's like, Pablo, dude, you're not the father. And it's like, dude, Dr. Phil comes in with Jerry Springer, and they're like, Tom and Jerry make an appearance, and they're like, dude, you need to tell Mr. Ninja now the truth about who you are and how you got here. And this poor man named Pablo out here, not playing just the game with the regular Q, was a lottery ticket that he was able to get to Ninja's game, and Ninja turns around and comes after him, and they're having a one-on-one session in the middle of the island. So it's like, dude, somebody comes in here, and Blizzard's cousins comes in here. It's like, we're with the Fib department. Somebody out here trying to say they're lying. And it's like, yeah, well, I needed to bring the police department in right away to see who's going on with telling me that I'm going to not win this game, and also go on and become the greatest to ever say that that's not the way to become a bear. And it's like, well, where do you go bet futures at? He's like, well, I'm about to do a parlay with Lions and stuff. And it's all like, well, hell, what is all this gonna go to? Because if we ain't gonna get that 1 second on the clock to see who won the game based upon this thing, isn't all of a sudden there's somebody coming out the faucet, and he's all like claiming to be a Smurf, but it's Ninja, and he's all like, time go back home, talk to Woody Harrelson, that's all True Detective. And he's True Detective's all like, you know what, I'm taking a job with Mr. Blizzard. Now I can see clearly. The time goes on, and Pablo's outside in the store, and Ninja goes on to win the game. But everything before it goes 0.5 seconds before that, it goes back to reality, snap back to reality, like Eminem is saying. And he's all like, reality, and he's stuck inside this trash bin, and he's winning the game after I slam dunked on him. And it's all with this lightsaber. And he's all like, this is gone off in the land of time, so we're going to the land before time. It's like, how much does it cost to have this man on live stream? Because that was a nice way to finish it. And it's like, dude, how are we speaking with in the sense of like Ripley's Believe It or Not? Because if you're talking to me about currencies and stuff, we're back with Willy Wonka trying to smoke whatever from the Maroon factory. And he's out there really, he's like, guys, man, I'm out here learning how to do some rolling. And he's all like, what do you guys, Willie's like, Charlie's like, man, you bit me. You're out here doing bad stuff, Mr. Will. He's like, yeah. And he's like, what's wrong with what's wrong with what I'm doing? And he's like, Charlie, I didn't do nothing. Charlie's like, you out here buying those tobacco smokers. He's like, that's not tobacco. You know what color this is. It's like, dude, I only know what's been put out in society, and we're not allowed to be doing that. Now that guy in Willy Wonka's factory, that he blamed it on the sun and the environment, that he's melting in his own chocolate house, is all like, goodness me, what is going on here? It's Mr. Wonka smoking by the chocolate factory, by the chocolate statues and houses that man's living in inside of his throne. And it's all like falling down, and Kumar's like, dude, this ain't happening on my watch. We come in here, Beecher's out here telling him, hey bro, there's somebody out here melting stuff, bring him to the Arctic. Articuno comes in and he says, guess what, we're painting and stuff. Willy Wonka sees low-key on top of Articuno, try to act like he got all this candy stuff, but Willy Wonka's like, this is an Articuno flying contest. So he's like, let me get on this now. And all of a sudden, this whole new world comes in. It's like Aladdin, and it's like, it's a whole new world. And all of a sudden, dude, this person painting it with Willy Wonka, and he's got these factories and buildings, and he's all like, where have we gone? And this time has gone off from the thing, and the Pablo's put auto run on, and he's gone on to Slurpee Swamp where he's auto run there, but this is behind the scenes, and we get to the Slurpee Swamp where all these portals and doors are being opened, where they're just like, these doors are opening, and it's like, oh, nobody's saying open session anymore. He's running through the doors all the way to Slurpee, and he's running away from Subway because Subway's feeding people meat that he don't eat. He doesn't eat meat because he might sound like he's from Arkansas or something like that, but he doesn't eat meat in reality like me. I'm Pablo and I don't be eating meat. But so that's what I was telling somebody on the plane at 5 p.m. the other day when it stayed at 5 p.m. for 5 hours. Hey man, what do we do when we get this thing? And I'm like, hey man, give me a blanket so I can lay down for more until I wake up. It's like, well, this is the nicest way to sleep because the time don't change. And he's like, have you heard about what goes on when you go backwards and the Earth's rotating and you're on a plane that goes the speed of what planes are? You start basically time traveling for the people. So then we go back to this Legion, and he's inside, he's seeing somebody drip out of his mouth, and Legion and that girl are like, what's wrong with him? He's taking these things that we don't know where they're coming from. And they're like, hey, well, let's go out here and not do that right now because that guy's out of it. So they're not out there anymore trying to figure out, like, can we touch or not. They're out here trying to figure out who's responsible for getting this man such in a sitting sideways days. Because he's all like, whoa, Legion's out here now in season 2. In the future, there's all these women now around him, and he's out here leaking all this drip off of him. And he's all like, people are getting all this energy and they're putting inside all these shield potions. And Pablo's all like, wait, man, you women made shield potions without my permission. And Willy Wonka's like, you the candy shop man. And he said, I said it. I'm the candy man. Who's all these people? And it's all like, dude, what's going on here? The game has ended and we're still waiting. Because like biscuits are coming out of the thing still. But that's back in the day. And it's like biscuits are coming out because somebody's still trying to eat out of there because he's eating biscuits and gravy. It's the morning that's come after. And he's sitting there eating gravy, and the game hasn't even, like, we haven't moved on to the next lobby. He's sitting in there trying to tell me in my chat while eating biscuits, he's gone and made a setup in this place. My brother, can you please stop fucking with me about being that I just won the game and tell me, yes, come in my game and tell me, man, congratulations, man, that was nice. You didn't say nothing, man. He comes in my game and says, man, you know, about 15, 20 minutes ago, that was Digital Planets, bro. And he's like telling me you're trash. I'm like, dude, what universe are we in? We need to get this fixed, man. I'm getting hot at the tea kettle. And I'm like, and his ninja comes out and he's like, dude, when everybody moves their lips, he's just really a bunch of gibberish. And Eminem needs to come out here, and all of a sudden we got M&Ms coming out of the faucets and stuff inside of a place outside where the gasoline's putting the water in the car. And there's people who are now wondering, don't put that in the car yet because it's not that season yet. Pablo grabs a gas thing and he puts it in the car on accident. All of a sudden there's like people coming out because they're trying to hide. They're hiding from the storm. And this stuff is like, whoa, 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 we're getting hurt. Pablo puts it back in there and he covers it up and he's like tapes the whole gasoline thing and says, hey, y'all in here, who's doing that? Myth and Ed McCree, me and Nick are inside this gas. They're on fire. They're on fire. Like, anybody getting hurt? And then they're like, no, it's the storm. We got storm sickness. We're just in here having a rave like those bats back when you put them up, not down. And it's like, where'd you get that at? Look at the time of the day that y'all playing. Y'all think we ain't gonna have a rave before we play. And Nick is all like, man, I'm sitting here in the gaming mode, but I'm raving with my headphone on the other side. But my wife is screaming. He's like, dude, well, it's like, we need to tell the world that he's out here, got the whole M-Bam out here, and he's got that raid going on in here. And Timmy the Tap Man's like, dude, how's this going on in my neighborhood? And Dr. Lupo's like, we're going to have to bring in Dr. Mario for this situation, but he's out there with the fire can. And they're all inside the streaming platform of the game. And they're all like inside the gas can. And it's like, blind, we got to get Lord Blanc playing left back and right. And when does this thing, never-ending thing comes out? So the never-ending story cat comes out. It's all like, but it's not a cat, he's a dog, and people get him misrepresented. He's just laying there sleeping with Droopy, and Droopy's on top of him, laying there taking a sun bath. And all of a sudden, the cameraman's in the replay mode, and he's telling him, guys, yo, hey, y'all think y'all gonna get every single one of y'all think y'all gonna get me. And all of a sudden the guy from Smash Mouth says the funk soul rubber, and he's all like, that dog, you from Smash Mouth, weren't y'all from that one movie? It said, it's like, you might as well go and call Smash Mouth because you know who it is. They come out and start saying, well, it's like gold out here. We have to garnish your wages, mister. Xerxes comes out and he thinks he's going to say something about what they're doing, but they're not inside the gas can. Xerxes still laying on